Psalm 19, starting at verse 7. This psalm is, like many of the psalms, a psalm of David. I'm not exactly sure at what point in his life he wrote this, but just getting into it. Starting at verse 7, David is he's listing the characteristics of the law of God, or the commandments of God. So he begins with, the law of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The rules of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, even much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and drippings of the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is your servant warned. In keeping them, there is great reward. Who can discern his errors? Declare me innocent from my hidden faults. Keep back your servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then I shall be blameless and innocent of great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. So David is he begins, it's very, very interesting stuff here. So he begins listing off some characteristics of the law of the Lord, the commandments of the Lord. He says it kind of in different ways. He says the law of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. So the law, the commandments of the Lord is perfect. That's the first characteristic here. It's perfect. It revives the soul. That's what it does. That's what it is. It's perfect and revives the soul. It gives life to your soul. And the testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. So the testimony of the Lord, it's sure, it's certain, it's absolute, and it makes wise the simple. It gives people that are otherwise simple people, not knowing any better, it instructs them in the right way. It makes them wise. So that's the second characteristic here. The precepts of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. So he says it kind of in different ways, but it's basically talking about the same thing: law, testimony, the precepts, pretty much, the commandments of the Lord's way of his law and what he desires, of what his standard is for us. So the precepts of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. So they give, joy and rejoicing in the heart. They make you rejoice. They make you happy. The precepts of the Lord. The commandment, another way of saying it, the commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. So his law, his precepts, his commandments, they are pure. They open your eyes so that you can see him. In a man that's otherwise morally debased, the commandment of the Lord enlightens the eyes of that man so that he can see, one, his own sin and how wretched he is, and then he can appreciate how good God is once he's enlightened by the law, or by the commandment. So verse 9, the fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. So it's clean. That's a very interesting phrase there. The fear of the Lord is clean. And what it makes me think of is when you fear the fear of the Lord, it's clean, it's in order, it's appropriate. That's kind of what I think here. It's I don't know. That's an interesting one here. The rules of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. So another way, the rules, the commandment, rule, precepts, testimony, the law, pretty much saying the same thing here. But the rules of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. They're true. That's another characteristic. More to be desired are they than gold, even much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and drippings of the honeycomb. So he lists all these characteristics of the law of the Lord, the commandment of the Lord, the precepts, and he says these things are more desirable than gold, even much fine gold. So not even just a little bit of gold. He says a lot of gold, and the best gold you can have. Even if you had a lot of it, it's not to be compared. It's less desirable than the law of the Lord. And he goes on to say, sweeter also than honey and drippings from the honeycomb. So these two very desirable things, honey, sweet drippings in your mouth, like tastes good, and you got gold, the very best fine gold. All these desirable things are nothing. They pale in comparison to the law of the Lord, the commandment of the Lord, the fear of the Lord. So that's a very nice, I guess, contrast that he uses, or kind of like a scale to kind of say, like, okay, how should we treat, the law of the Lord versus these desirable things that we have in our lives. So verse 12, who can discern his errors? Declare me innocent from hidden faults. Keep back your servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then I shall be blameless and innocent of great transgression. So we kind of see where David's values were. It wasn't in worldly things. It wasn't in his status or his position or his wealth or, having influence or women or being popular. He cared about his status with God and his enmity with God via his sin. He's like, keep me clean from sin. Well, he says, who can discern his errors? Who can tell God that he's wrong? Who can point out a flaw in what God does or what he says? He says, declare me innocent from hidden faults. He's like, God, make me clean from the things that I can't see. This is what he cared about. He cared about being clean from his transgressions, the ones that particularly the ones he can't see, right? Because we all got faults that we don't even necessarily know about. He says, Lord, declare me innocent from these things. Because he was that sensitive to his own shortcomings. Keep back verse 13, keep back your servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. So not only do I want to be declared innocent from my hidden sins, but from my presumptuous sins, from the sins that I do intentionally. Lord, keep me back from those sins. Let them not have dominion over me. So hidden sins and non-hidden sins. He doesn't want anything to do with that. That's good. That's how we all should be. Like, God, reveal to me these hidden sins in my life. Declare me innocent from them. I repent. And God, the things that I know that I do that's wrong, Lord, I repent. Lord, clean me from these things as well. And let them not have dominion over me. And he says, then I shall be blameless and innocent of great transgression. So that's ultimately that's very wise what David says. He says, then I will be innocent, blameless. That's what we should seek, to be innocent and blameless towards God. Because what else matters? Like, yeah, your job is cool. Yeah, your friend group is cool or whatever, hanging out and kicking it or relaxing. But it's like, this is the thing that we should be seeking after, to be innocent and blameless towards God. Not any, of course, it's not of our own works or efforts to cleanse ourselves. The way we cleanse ourselves is through Christ, obeying him and having faith in him. He cleanses us, and he is our what makes us clean in God's eyes. So the more we have faith in him, the more righteousness is ascribed to us, and the more we can be made clean in God's eyes. So through the power of Christ, through the power of the Spirit that lives in us, that's how we do it. I just don't want anybody to come on here and say, oh, he's, trying to say that I said something that I didn't say. But verse 14, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. So another very wise thing to end it off here. It says, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable. It's like, let what I say and the things that I even ponder in my heart be acceptable to you. Wow, that's wow. When's the last time you said that? Let the things that I say and let the meditation of my heart be acceptable to the Lord. He was that sensitive, knowing that God, he sees everything. He's not only hears what you say, but he hears what you say in your heart, in a sense. Like, he knows what you really feel and what you really desire and what you really care about, where your heart is, what your heart position is, right? He cares about those things too. And that's, David cared about the position of his own heart towards God. He says, let the meditation of my heart be acceptable. O Lord, my rock and my redeemer, my rock, the one who supports me, my redeemer, the one who redeems me. He's ultimately, David just wants to be acceptable in God's sight. And this is a very, very interesting psalm that we can pick apart. And in the beginning of the first 6 or 7 verses, you can pick apart and learn even more. But this is very insightful on David's part, and I think we can all learn and strive to have the heart position that David had in this psalm.